Okay, what do you do if you mess up while you're recording and you're like 45 minutes into it and you're like, damn it, I have it all planned out on my flash drive. I know what my set's gonna be already, or I just wanna keep vibing from there. What I got was really great. I don't wanna do it again. I had some things that I can't recreate. Well, the good news is there is a solution. So let's go into Logic. Let's say you're recording your mix. This is a much shorter piece of audio here. But for example, let's say you were mixing in right around here and you had a big flub and you're like, damn it, and you get all pissed off and you stop your CDJs, you stop the recording. Well, here's how you go back in to fix it. What I would recommend is to duplicate the track. So you just have another blank stereo audio track. And from there, we're going to find a reference point and we're going to mix in with the same song that you were playing, drop it in, and then record that and basically record them both simultaneously, and then we'll edit it out later. So let me grab my headphones. If you're using your interface into speakers, you could just listen through the speakers and do it in the room. Since I'm not using speakers at this moment, I'm gonna use my headphones into my interface here really quick. So let me jump around. This looks like a good point because it looks like the last build up here that goes into this drop. Okay, cool. So let me go back to that song and find that spot. I think it's back here. So as you can see, I'm getting signal on audio 2, which is the new blank track that we're gonna basically be recording into. So all the levels are set. I don't need to change anything. It's gonna be exactly the same how it was. So I basically am gonna find this drop right here. I'm gonna set up a cue point. I'm gonna try and blend it in, and I might not nail it on the cue, so don't judge me, but we'll line it up after. So basically I would go back a little bit, hit record. We're gonna listen to the previous track. Now I'm gonna cut this short also here so we don't keep hearing it for a while. Now here's the other thing. If I mess up right now and it's not perfectly on the grid, I can actually fix it later in post-production also. So you don't have to worry too much about lining it up either, because we're still not mixing out of this song for a little while. So what I would do is get my cue point set up again that I got here. I'm gonna backtrack and record on the new song. On the new track, I mean. Nailed it. They're actually phasing out. I'm really proud of that right now. Thank you. So that's it. Now I would go back to the song that I was originally gonna mix in, set it back up, set my mixer back up, make sure my trim is good, make sure my EQ on my low end is back down, make sure my filter knobs and effects are all off again. So now I'm ready to mix in. I gotta bring my headphones back to the DJ mixer. And now I'm ready to continue mixing. So this is cool. I would just continue finishing my mix. And there it is. Let's hit it with that spiral I didn't do in the last lesson. Beautiful. So that's how you punch in on your DJ mix if you mess up. Really important to do, because honestly, you probably don't want to do this 1,000 times over, because that's going to be 1,000 hours if you're doing an hour-long mix, right? Now, let's go into the last step here, which is going to be limiting your mix. So you've recorded a DJ mix. It's an hour long. You've got all your different tracks in there. And like the simplest way I'm going to show you guys, which is going to be very beginner level, is going to be to just throw a limiter on there. Let's take a look in Logic here. So I'm going to just open, I'm going to grab maybe the Fab Filter Pro L, which I like. You can use the Logic. You know what? Let's use the Logic limiter since we're in here anyway. We're going to go to Dynamics, Limiter. I might use the Adaptive Limiter. I never actually understood the difference between the two, to be honest with you, but the adaptive limiter is a little better and heavier. So I guess it probably has a little more bounce to it. But basically, you're going to watch the output on the master volume here. And as you can see, we recorded pretty low. So there's definitely going to be some headroom. So what you do is you send your output ceiling. I would go about -3 for a DJ mix so that it's not too far into the red. And you don't want to smash it into the top. You kind of want to just like, I mean, if you don't know what a limiter is, it basically sets a ceiling, and then you basically drive the volume into the ceiling. So from there, what you want to do is set the ceiling to about -3, and you want to drive it into the ceiling with this gain knob here. Not a ton, because your tracks are going to be different volumes. So you make sure if you have a song that's coming a little bit louder, you don't want to squash it too much. So you want to make sure you find maybe the loudest point in your mix and limit around there, because everything is going to be below and you're not going to squash it too hard, because you don't want it to, it'll sound bad that way also, which is kind of like the final stage in the gain staging process here is the limiting portion, because we are gaining up the whole mix. So I would play this here. Let me switch to this volume. I'm going to go to a part that has more beat in it. Let's go to this track here. So I would just drive up that gain. Watching the meter on the master track, we can go to that ceiling pretty high. If I brick it, it's even just too low like that, but that sounds pretty good volume to me. There's enough bounce to let other louder tracks have the headroom also, and it's gonna be at a nice competitive volume with everything else. So here you heard the mix going into the 2 tracks. I didn't notice any crushing or digital distortion or anything, so we're good to go. All right, and that pretty much wraps up recording a DJ mix into Logic Pro. I hope you guys have enjoyed the course. We covered a lot of cool things, from sourcing out music, why mixes are important, all the gear that you need to do it, the gain staging, the limiting, and of course, punching in if you need to do that. But sometimes you might be stuck in a situation, or it's requested that you get a studio mix, or you don't have access to the gear and you need to actually just make a DJ mix in your laptop or your computer. Well, you can head over to soundcollective.com. I have a course there on their subscription platform that's breaking down, making an entire house DJ mix in the studio, in Logic, fully produced out with all the transitions and everything. So head over there. Again, my name is Lefty. Thanks for hanging out. You can find me on all of my socials at Lefty Music. I'll catch you guys later.